Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, back at 30 frames per second because it's a slightly higher resolution. I made a New Year's resolution not to drop any more droids. Don't tell anybody. As I promised yesterday in the rather larger than I thought it was going to be before I started broadcasting it, Galaxy's Edge Trading Post haul, or a mini haul of sorts, I promised today that I'd talk about thrifting, one of my favorite activities, and it's something that I never really envisioned myself doing. And I realized the eBay bug hit a lot of you eons ago. It really didn't hit me until really, maybe, possibly, no, it wouldn't have even been before Jedi was born. Did I go thrifting with y'all in the vlogs? I can't remember. I honestly can't. Anyway, it's been a few years, and so I try to thrift every day. I'm lucky enough that there are a couple of thrifting stores that have the stuff that I'm looking for. I wasn't sure which way I was going to go until I got to the end of the sentence. But you know, that's really my number one tip in terms of thrifting, as far as I'm concerned, is you've got to check all the time, like every day, if possible. I mean, once a week, sure, but at least every day. Some days, when I go early, and there's something, specifically on the weekends, if I go early and there's something that's out that I like, and there seems to be more, I may even come back later in the day. So check often, even on the same day, if that's possible. Because you never know what you're going to find, and that's the magic of thrifting. I started out with these two droids here at the beginning of the video because this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. The best thrift store haul I ever got was a series of 3 vintage droids figures, which I didn't ever own. Really good condition, too. I was shocked. Wasn't quite a haul, but in terms of the value, I got like the 3 droids figures for like $5, maybe. But either way, it was because I was checking at a random point during the day. And so when I find Star Wars figures, I usually grab them. Sometimes I pass on them, depending on what they are. These are 2 Build-A-Droids from Disney parks. You can tell because of the domes. Well, specifically this dome design, as well as the caps. Like this one's got a Yoda cap, and this one's got Mickey Mouse ears. It's going to be difficult for you to see that, but there's a red Jedi symbol on the top of that droid's head, and they come off, so they're swappable. You can build your own when you go to the parks. It's pretty cool. But they were normally, let's see here, they sold for probably $13 a piece, and I got them both for, what's the thumbnail say? The thumbnail says something along the lines of like $3 for 2. Incredible bargain for astromechs. You can't pass it up. And that's the thing, is you kind of got to pick and choose. So again, check frequently, sometimes even twice a day, and learn to pick and choose in terms of what you see. If it's an impulse buy, like that was an impulse buy, like, okay, it's a droid, I'm in. But there's times that I'll find a baggie that has something Star Wars in it, and it's either common or it's not in good shape, and I'm just not willing to drop even a couple of bucks on something that I'm not going to enjoy, certainly immediately, or has me thinking, should I grab this or not? So you kind of have to pick and choose. Now, the way that I approach this is not necessarily typical, in the sense that many people thrift not just for collecting, maybe they are, but specifically to flip. And I actually give a lot of credit to people who do that. I have much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Appreciation? Maybe that's the wrong word. Respect. That's the right word I'm looking for. Respect for those who thrift to flip specifically. They're kind of counter to the idea of a scalper. When you find something in the wild and you pick it up, you know, and you made that discovery, you've got the expertise, you've got the interest potentially, or you know your audience does, turning it around and flipping it, you can very quickly earn a profit. Now, the problem with Star Wars stuff is that people see the words Star Wars and they automatically think, oh, money, 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 money. Ooh, this is worth $50. No, 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 no. Like, if someone was trying to sell this for like $20, I'm like, yeah, no, not even at 10. 5, yes. 10, no, not worth it. But people who flip will often use thrifting as the gateway to discovering things they otherwise wouldn't have picked up and then turning it around for whatever the profit might be. So you'll often see people thrifting, with my next tip, with their phones. And the reason why is because they're researching. And even though I don't flip necessarily, at least at this point in time, that may change. I've thought about it. I've thought about setting up some kind of kiosk or something. That's one of the reasons why I launched the Galaxar event a while ago. And I've got more stuff that I thrifted back here, by the way. I'm starting off with the tips because I know that a lot of people might be interested in that stuff. Aveline, it is good to see you again as well. Thank you for being a member of this channel, and thank you everybody else for tuning in live. So having a phone on you is kind of critical, because there are times that I'll see something on the shelf and I'm like, oh wow, I think that's a good deal, and then I'll look it up and I'm like, nah, I can get it cheaper online even after shipping and handling, so I pass on it. Right? Unless it's something that I might actually need. So people who flip will definitely carry their phones with them, because you'll see them grabbing what would seemingly, to the untrained eye, seem to be a rather random object, nothing important. But that's where the discoveries are made. They'll know more about their particular, the item in question, or need to do some research to know whether or not it's worth to flip. So I would probably be inclined not necessarily to flip the things that I don't know that much about, because if you don't know much about it, you don't know much about the audience, you don't know much about the value, I'd be much more inclined to say, believe it or not, flip Star Wars stuff. But for that to happen, you kind of have to buy, not in bulk, but you kind of have to buy in lots. And that's usually better handled on eBay. Because you can buy in bulk and then divvy up and then sell a la carte, depending on the value of what you get or the deals you get. And deals can still be made on eBay, certainly. Thrifting, I think, is a lot more fun, though, compared to eBay, because I eBay now. Heaven knows I eBay. Thrifting is more fun because of serendipity. You never know what you're going to run across. And that, to me, is the next tip that I have, is don't be afraid to explore. Not just new places, but certainly within any particular location. When you have a pattern, and I certainly have my patterns, I will usually stick to those patterns. But every so often, I'll go off the beaten path and look somewhere where I normally wouldn't look. And more than a few times, that's yielded something that I really wanted, right? Or did. That's the thing. You want this stuff, whether or not you know you want this stuff. So those I should have kept a certain outline, but those are really the tips that I use that kind of guide me when I go thrifting. Another tip I have is, if it's possible, get to know the people who are there. They can't necessarily violate any kind of ethical code of their employment and do things that employees can't do. But the more you kind of get to know them, the more they might be able to help. In the sense of this, there have been times when I will be in store, and one of the clerks that I'm not going to say I've developed a relationship with, but I know, will sometimes say, oh, did you see the X? We had it there earlier. I'm like, no, what's that? Or they'll say something. I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. But the fact that they know my interests can, not necessarily turn them into an extra pair of eyes, but if they tell me about something that I otherwise wouldn't have found, that's huge. So kind of get to know them. I mean, granted, you've got to be a nice person in general. I mean, don't get to know them just to be, it's not all business. People know that when I walk into the stores that I go to, I'm specifically looking for Star Wars stuff. Every so often, I will pick up something else, depending on what it is, depending on the value. Another tip that I have is, if it's a possibility, use coupons. The thrift stores that I happen to frequent, one of them will they will take things that you bring in. It's specifically kind of a kid store. So they say bring a toy in. If it's a series of loose toys, put it in a baggie. And what they will do is they will sell it. Now, granted, they've got one hell of a cut, but they sell it. So I just put these random, themed objects in there because there are times that I will pick up Star Wars figures, and they will come in a bag with other random, like, Happy Meal toys or junky figures or figures that I'm generally not interested in. So I'll repack them and resell them, and there they'll either cut a check, or I could pick it up if they don't sell, or have it donated automatically, which is what I choose to do because I don't want to be strapped with toys that I don't necessarily want. Or convert to store credit. So I'm at that point where I have more store credit at this particular thrift store, which I use as I'm walking around. For example, the other day I used a $10 credit on that store to get a set of Lincoln Logs, which weren't brand new, but still had the box, so I assume mostly complete. But we were looking for Lincoln Logs for Jedi to play with, only for developing hand-eye coordination. So I was able to get them cheap. And I have no problem with it, and Jedi doesn't care. They're Lincoln Logs, whether they come in a new box or a used box. And that's the next tip. Don't be afraid. That's the thing. There's so many people who are just dead set against it. And I was that person, right? When Diana told me, "Oh, you should go thrifting because there's Star Wars stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." When I grew up, we thrifted, and it just wasn't that fun. It wasn't that interesting. And any kind of toy, if I saw a toy, because it was usually clothes shopping, boring as hell. The toys were just junked. And not to say that when you're thrifting, a lot of the stuff isn't junked, because a lot of it is. But you kind of got to know what you're looking for. Sometimes you don't necessarily know what you're looking for until you find it and then you realize you want it. Like the game that I showcased a couple of weeks ago, the Run Yourself Ragged game from the 70s, which I always saw the commercial for, but never actually played and certainly never owned. So that was kind of it was a thrill. It's a way to kind of visit yesteryear without spending a lot of money. Or it's a way to get a new or new-ish toy without spending a lot of money. I don't know if I would necessarily say that you could pick up gifts while thrifting. It depends on what the gift is. If I had a friend who was into like vintage G.I. Joes, and I do know a few people, there are times that I will run into vintage Joes, and I know them enough. I'm like, okay, that's definitely a vintage Joe, and it's not in perfect condition. Usually they're not, because of all the points of articulation and the band inside. I don't know what the exact terminology is. I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan. That said, I wasn't planning on showing you this. I purchased my first G.I. Joe figure retail since college. This is my first G.I. Joe figure since college. I'm just going to stop. This is what I keep telling myself. That Cobra Commander is, as well as the upcoming exclusive Cobra Commander. Sorry, that's a complete aside. But in that sense, if I know what someone's fandom is, I kind of keep my eye out for that stuff. My brother is into Domokun, and I found a huge Domokun. I got super cheap. He's going to put it on his porch. And so, thrifting may be a good way to pick up gifts. You can save money. You can have fun. They can have fun getting something that isn't available at retail. And that's, that's just kind of part of the fun. Let's see here. What else? I also use coupons. The place where I go, the big thrift chain, has surveys. Sometimes on receipts, you'll get a survey code, or if you donate, you'll get like a 20% off coupon and a survey, like not coupon, but like here we go. You'll get a survey card, and if you fill this out, it takes 5 minutes. You save $2 on a purchase $5 and up. So in effect, you're not making money, but you're saving money on a future purchase. This is $2 right here. That's what it is, and it takes no time at all to complete. And certainly when you're checking out, you enter your rewards number if you have one, if the store has that capability, and remember your coupons, because you can save even more money when you're saving money. People have asked me what my favorite pastime is. Hey, I watch shows, and I read largely online, largely news, largely social. I watch videos at times, but if I had a hobby, Star Wars is certainly at the heart of it. But thrifting is a total blast, and it just, like I said, it depends on what you want. A lot of the guys that I see walking in there, will go right to the tech section, and I'm like, not even discounted, dude. I'm like, yeah, depends on what it is, but no, thank you. Ooh. But you can thrift technology too if you're interested. Let's say you don't care about toys, fine. You care about tech. A lot of people thrift for clothes. I can't say that all of my clothes are thrifted, but and I haven't necessarily needed t-shirts because I've been pretty regular with them, and I usually get them on sale. I try not to pay full price. But my pants, my jeans, I've been thrifting for years, going back years and years and years. Because why pay full price? I'll even wait for like a 50% off day and then go and get the jeans. I mean, it's just, why spend the money if you don't need to? Or let me put it this way. Spend the money on something that you would really want, unless you really love jeans. Jeans to me are just like, okay, I have to wear pants. I'd rather spend the money on a Star Wars figure, but sure, I have to wear pants. So you have to pardon as I'm continuing to brainstorm a lot of the things that I experience and the things that I think about, the tips that I would want to share with thrifting. Apart from telling you that if you have a thrifting location, Savers, Value Village, any other chain, Ollie's is not thrifting, but it's a discount store. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do the video today. Ollie's has got a series of the vintage collection figures, not thrifted, case fresh. I was going to show this in an upcoming video, so I shouldn't have pulled it out. But they're selling these for like $3 or $4, and they normally retail for like $13. So if you are near an Ollie's and you see the vintage collection figures, let me know, because I will buy them from you if you pick them up for me, specifically the Stormtroopers, to do some army building. So, I guess that kind of parlays into a tip, is I meant to look at the comments. The idea of connecting with others is very valuable. I don't have a lot of thrifting friends in town necessarily. Every so often someone will send me something, but not on a regular basis. I think as far as the collecting communities are concerned, we're usually on our own, left to our own devices, and we generally thrift on our own, so we're not necessarily going to pass along our in the wild finds. They will be NFS, not for sale. But the friends who are out there, if they happen to catch the thrifting bug, I always say, well, yeah, if you see something, let me know. That's not to say that everything that they might find I'm interested in. There are times that they'll say, oh, what about this? I'm like, yeah, no, it's not interesting. Star Wars figures for me are usually like, yes. And so let me peep the comments, and then I will show you the thrifting score. This is what I've picked up over the past week. What you're about to see, the stuff that I'm going to show you here. You have to pardon. I'm going to look at the comments. Thank you very much. This being a live video, which I love. Give me a second. Khalid says, the moment I started thrifting, I wondered why I wasted so much money previously shopping traditionally. Exactly. Depends on what you're looking for, but it's just shocking. My hope is, for anybody watching this video, you don't thrift Star Wars stuff. And the reason why is because if you go thrifting and you see Star Wars stuff, tweet at me. Message me on live.pirillo.com. That's the Discord chat server. I gotta know. You have an Ollie's there? Okay. You gotta go to Ollie's there, cool Mario dude, and let me know if they have the vintage collection figures on sale or any Star Wars stuff. Because I'm serious, man. I will pay for it, pay shipping and handling and everything, depending on what it is, right? And how much. I mean, because you kind of have to, you got to weigh the ups and downs. Because sometimes shipping and handling is worth too much, or it costs too much compared to the value of what might be getting picked up. Skookum Trooper, see, they got TBC Snokes for $5. Snokes are peg warmers. Can't really army build with them. They can't even move them at retail at full price. Maybe they will show up eventually at the dollar store or Dollar Tree. You can find good Star Wars stuff there as well. Let's see here. I'm not seeing too many other thrifting related questions. Oh, Aveline French, who is a member of this channel. Thank you for joining. Thrifting and then flipping is a lot of work. So yeah, lots of respect to them. Totally. Although I do not respect scalpers, people who buy, let's say, someone who rushes in and buys a new G.I. Joe Cobra Commander and then turns around and tries to sell it for like twice as much. That angers me. That angers me. Now, 10 years from now, someone tries to sell this. They find it thrifting for, $5, which would be a shock if they did, certainly in this condition, and then turns around and sells it for 40. I can't complain because it should not be available at retail, or at least certainly not at that point. So now I'm going to show you. This is everything you're about to see. It was thrifted over the past week. As I mentioned, I like Star Wars figures. I was inclined to pass on this. Was from the Hero Mashers series, but I like a good Grievous. Probably one of the better Grievous figures ever produced. Certainly by Hasbro. Usually you can't balance worth squat, but this one balances very well. And honestly, given Grievous's cyborgish nature, I feel that everything about this figure is darn near perfect. So I grabbed an extra one. It came with the Inquisitor lightsaber, which is pretty neat. Nice little bonus there. So he will go into a spare Hero Mashers bin to be mashed up. Where am I going to put y'all? This is... So last week, over the past week, last 7 days, there was not an incident, an issue, a moment where there were many Star Wars figures in several bags, across several bags. So, of course, I grabbed them all. And I went back a couple of times that day, and there were more out each time. The one that caught my eye was this one. Now, before you start, thinking that there's something wrong with your camera, no, there isn't. This particular comic pack, Darth Vader, came broken. Like, there's no arms. But, like, I couldn't pass it up. I do have the comic pack, the full comic pack in box right there, and I also have a loose one of these, so I'm not, like, floating off to eBay to try to get a full one, which sometimes I've been inclined to do. But it's sad. It's sad when I see this happen, because, this has been such a good figure, but I'm going to hold on to it. I try to pop off the helmet, if only to collect the head, which I've done as well, if the body's all mangled. But like troopers or figures like this, there may come a time when I find arms that are suitable to put in its place, then I'll have a mashup. Speaking of mashup, this figure right here is a mashup. The 501st, a clone. Usually, unfortunately, when I find these clones, which, phase 2, my favorite phase of the clones, the value to me is high. I love these things. But this one came with no hands. Lucky for me, I have a bag of loose parts, and I was able to find hands to basically match. Now, this one probably wasn't with the original figure. This one absolutely wasn't. You can see because it's got a red coating on it right there. But I've got a complete figure as far as I'm concerned. It's a custom, not a great custom, but still a custom. So the 2-pack with Jedi Leia. Yes, Skookum Trooper. That is the comic pack. I wish oh man, that would be the find. To find comic packs thrifting would be amazing. It's not likely because only collectors pick them up. Oh man, there's so many comic pack figures I want. Oh, why wasn't I paying attention when I should have been paying attention? Ah! Okay, so those two. The Vader will go in the spare bag. That clone will go into a good bag. This clone beat up, but again, phase 2, even phase 1 I would have picked up. I didn't have to do much. I had to kind of clean it up a bit on the back. I got one of the magic erasers and just kind of cleaned it up. He's a little dinged here, some scuffs, paint scrapes. But, he's kind of scraped and beat up anyway, so it fits. And generally speaking, in solid shape. Very, very solid shape. Droids, I can't pass up. Super Battle Droid, and I got it to stand. I didn't get a picture for my social feeds, but I got this droid. A really solid Grievous, not complete, but complete enough. Surprisingly, no breaks. It looks like there's a couple pieces missing up here for this particular Grievous. Solid shape, though. It's difficult to get Grievous to, like I was explaining, it's difficult to balance Grievous figures. This Mace Windu. Now, I'm not sure if this Mace Windu came with a cloak, but I bought this cloak separately in another bag, and I put it on Mace because it looked good. The only problem with this Mace, and it's super articulated, so this may very well be, Skookum Trooper may tell me, an old vintage collection Mace Windu, because super articulated, just about everywhere possible. But the only problem I had with him is there was a purple marker up the backside. So what I did was I basically, tried to do a magic eraser on it. It didn't work, and then I just got some, fine grained sandpaper and sanded it off. You can't tell. I mean, like, if you were, like, doing an inspection, like, it's kind of scraped, but, like, to the eye, not a problem whatsoever. So the next one I got, this was all in the series of bags that came with figures I did not want, which I turned around and gave to the other business. This one, mostly complete, did not come with the helmet, unfortunately. It also is missing a shoulder. It's got the peg hole. What's the word I'm looking for? The outlet. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a problem with words tonight. But still, I'd say complete enough to throw into my loose collection, which I keep around in decent shape. I would have appreciated having the helmet, but beggars can't be choosers. Now here's a 5 POA Obi-Wan Kenobi with an amazing likeness of Ewan McGregor, and I've never seen this one at all. Usually the Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi is from Episode 1, the very, very, very common Episode 1 figures that just were not that great, in my humble opinion. I mean, some of them were great, but the humans, not that great. This one, I was really happy to find. It's like, wow, I've never seen that one before at all. Always happy, of course, with the 5 POA figures. That's me, naturally. A Darth Maul, just a standard old Darth Maul. Nothing fancy about him. 5 POA, very angry Darth Maul. There was another Darth Maul. Believe it or not, I even turn around and sell some of those beat-up Star Wars figures. I don't hold on to every Star Wars figure I find. Then, in some of the bags, there were meal toys. I hesitate to say Happy Meal because that's probably like violating, some kind of, if it was Burger King or Taco Bell. This is, look, can you see, he licks the air. Look at that. Never had this, and now I do. I got a Jar Jar. Oh, wow, it goes out. Look at that. Hang on. We got a Gene Simmons here. Let's see if I can, okay, hold like that. Look at this. Look at that distance. Boy, oh, Jedi's going to have a blast with this. So, I got a Jar Jar Binks. Misa called Jar Jar Binks. Jar Binks. Some figurines. Yeah, applause. This is an applause droid, not articulated, or R2-D2. And then what I thought was an eraser. This one is a 2004, just a standard 2004. Couldn't tell you what set it came in. But these particular, they're not Hasbro outright, or at least like a typical Hasbro figure. But these came in the mix with the other figurines. Then there are, this is, what's the name of the series? Hero Clicks? Yeah? Like, they click. I saw an Emperor's Royal Guard. Couldn't pass it up, in good shape. There were a few Hero Clicks a while ago, and I passed on, because I just couldn't justify, what I saw. I'm like, yeah, those are kind of neat, but the price was a little high. I didn't have any coupons on hand. Otherwise, I probably would have nabbed them. These are fun. I don't care, what the Star Wars figure is. If I'm interested, I'm interested. So this was in one of the bags. I picked it up. Good Emperor's Royal Guard there. And this one came before that figure haul that I showed you there. That was kind of, they were grouped in several bags across the day. I grabbed them all. This was before. This is a 5 POA Emperor. I don't see many of these. Usually the Emperors that I might find thrifting are the ones in black that you could, the 5 POA that you could take there's a hard plastic cap. But this multicolored Emperor, I don't see that much of, so I grabbed him. And he's in good shape too. Very, very happy. If I see a figure that's not in great shape, and I got in a couple of those bags, there were a couple that looked great, but then as I looked closer, there were pieces missing from the figure, and I'm like, the nose was cut off or a finger was cut off. I mean, they were played with hard. I didn't even mention one of these figures. Oh, this one. This is I want to say it's a vintage collection Luke, not the newer one from the Target 3-pack, but vintage collection, decent shape. The head's a little looser than I would like it to be, But whoever owned it before basically used like a super, 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 super like a hot glue gun to glue accessories into the hand. And I was able to remove it without any problem. But man, it was a little harrowing at first. There were a couple of other figures that I would have loved to have kept, but they just weren't in good shape after I took a deeper look. Either way, this was a nice find in that haul. With the Emperor's Royal Guard, I found this Vader. I don't get all the Vaders, believe it or not, because I have them. Or if I have it already, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. But another Vader figurine. Don't mind if I do. Put you there. This is the problem with the lightsabers get like bent. I bent my Wookiee. I bent my Vader. Okay, so now here's one. This is in the. I don't know if it was. Could you see it off the side? I don't know. This was. I opened it to try it, but this was in with the figures and everything. Another kids meal toy. Is that fair to say? So watch this. Oh, I hope that didn't go into the spider trap. Oh man, missed it by that much. It's kind of fun. So why not? Like it's again, these are fun toys to have around. You just knock around toys to play with Jedi. This is another one of those. I'm opening it. I know I'm violating a cardinal rule. These are. I'm not gonna say worthless, but if I wanted to, I could probably pick a new one up on eBay and not spend that much money. I'm not gonna do that. I'll thrift it. I'm not gonna spend that much money because I'm not interested in necessarily collecting all these. Even though I didn't have one in bag. So we've got the Queen's Naboo. Oh man, hang on. It's not working. Am I doing it right? That's not. Okay, it looks like a bong. Like, there, elementary! My idea, Watson. Do I need to, like, Google the instructions for this? Am I pumping up something? Do I just put it at the top? Okay, maybe I just stick it on the top. Give me a second. No. Probably gonna knock the camera. I better be very careful here. Let me scoot you back. You saw a sneak peek over there. Okay. Can anybody tell me how to? Well, you win some, you lose some. This one, a little water squirter. I'm gonna put in Jedi's bath toys, like so she can squirt, get everything wet, as long as she keeps it within the bath. But it's a Unobongo, super cheap toy. And then we've got a Newt Gunray on a mechanical wind-up. Well, they work, but they just don't work all that well. Or at least a couple of them do. Anyway, that's a little creepy. Fun, though, for like 2 minutes. Okay. Here's another find. So this is typically how you'll find the bags, right? This is one that, again, one of those things that I love running into because there are Angry Birds Star Wars figurines that I did not have. I was not necessarily collecting them at the time, which is my mistake. But as I was going through them, I'm like, oh, whoa, hang on, that's a Lando Calrissian. Oh, okay, I didn't have that one. Oh, look at that C-3PO. Oh, wow, okay, no, I've had that one. I think I have the Emperor's Royal Guard. And as I was like, whoa, this is great. So, anyway, I got these. So this is typical. This is what I might do in the car, is go through them, right? So, you know, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but the Emperor, as I mentioned, Lando, a C-3PO, and I keep them all together. So this so I'm going to see which ones I have or already have the sculpts of or duplicates. Emperor's Royal Guard, which I don't think I had. A Tusken Raider, which I may already have or see in person. A Qui-Gon Jinn. Some plastic junk like this. That's the thing, is you'll get junk. A stormtrooper that's got a pink, like kind of a pink something it rubbed off. I'm going to try to clean it, but it's a pretty deep pink, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it out. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to resort to sandpaper though. But this is a stormtrooper I don't think I have with the gun on the side. I have a few Luke X-wings, so this one may be a duplicate for me. Hang on, I'm trying to show you outright the count. Again, all of these in one bag, most of which I don't think I had. A Mace Windu, Angry Bird. Like someone was going for the collection and then just decided to give up. A Droideka, which doesn't really look like an Angry Bird, but it is. Or a pig. And then a Padawan. Is that it? It's just a piece of garbage. It's all garbage. Yeah, that's it. So for $2.99, which I might have also applied a coupon, I got 11 Angry Birds, most of which I didn't have before. Like, eBay can't match that. That said, I immediately got onto eBay. I was like, well, I wonder which other ones I think I'm missing. And I thought I was missing. I got this on eBay, actually at a pretty good price for like a couple of bucks. And Ponda Baba, which I know I didn't have these two, but I think they came in the original set with these. So because I thrifted and found these, I went even deeper and picked up these. I don't think I'm ever going to get the entire set, but to have a good amount for a rather good amount, you just can't. I can't pass that up. I can't. So yes, I've been very excited to see. I've been waiting. I've been keeping them out because I didn't want to put them away before I had a chance to give you thrifting tips and to talk about thrifting. Let's see here. Okay, this is one that was in great shape until I dropped it. I mean, it's just a scuff in the garage, sadly. But right there on the shelf, a Darth Vader mug. I did not have a tumbler with the sticker. Like, it was never used. Like, it was probably given as a gift and never used. Let's see here. Can I get this? Can I get you anywhere? I may end up moving these plates, honestly. I'm not going to do it right now, but I got a lot of mugs over here. Okay. I'm not going to place you then. I'm not going to place you. I'm going to talk to the mug. I will place you later. I've been meaning to move the plates to another open shelf that I have so I can get more stuff in here. This is one that I talked about in social media the other day. I tweeted a link to it, and a neighbor kid found it, but I was not going to pay whatever full retail was for the Oregon Trail handheld, but this was like $2 or $3. I'm like, okay, sure. Impulse buy, didn't have it, fun. It works too. You press this virtual disc, or should I say diskette. Sorry, I just clipped my nails. There we go. It turns it on, and then you can play the Oregon Trail like right away. It's crazy. So I haven't played it through on this yet, but I had for $2 or $3. So it's not everything I thrift is Star Wars. I do get a lot of vintage or nostalgia stuff that I might find interesting. Speaking of, I picked this up for $1.29. I have a couple of them, but there's a Darth Vader on the back. So this is the biggest problem that I have with thrifting is the stickers. Like, I know why they have to do it, but it just annoys me because then you got to take them off. I don't necessarily frequent the Goodwills in my area because they're not that great, and quite honestly, the prices aren't that great either. Every once in a while, you find a gem, but not as frequently. I may have to take this off later after my fingernails grow back. Okay, I'm not going to do this right now. I swear I'm not. Since I saw it, I'm just going to give it a start. You got to be careful not to rip it. I just wish they would use an adhesive that didn't get glued on. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you are going to go right there. Diana found this online. I would say thrifting in the marketplace. You can find generally good deals there, but pretty much an unused complete set Stormtrooper, front and back. Really good shape too. So we got this for $5. It came with this and something else that I don't see. Oh, here. Okay, these two things for $5. Complete set. Really nice. I already had this Darth Vader notebook. Can't have too many though. And then this was something that I might have. This was kind of impulsy. I should have looked a little deeper. It wasn't in great shape, but I've not seen one of these. A used Clone Wars lunch pack. It's a little beat up on the outside and on the inside. There are some pock marks from general use. But you know what? If I throw this there for Jedi to use and play with and to have something, to keep in a bag, which we use a lot of lunch pails for, like to keep her figurines separated so she knows, she wants to play with this toy, she'll go for that thing. She wants to play with that toy, she'll go for another thing. So I would have no problem in her using and abusing this even further. And speaking of Clone Wars, I got this. I already had one, but the reason why, I already had one, whether it's complete or not, I don't know, but the reason why I ended up getting this one for $3.99 plus, whatever, or minus whatever bonus I might have applied to it. It comes with 8 pewter figurines, and I counted them. So from the Clone Wars, which is really cool. So I've got 2 of these, so I can keep one in box and build that complete set. We can play with some of the extra money. Jedi can have some funny money, and the pewter figurines will work really well on display. So sometimes I'll pick up old Star Wars games, even if I already have them, if only to take the really cool loose pieces out or the collectible pieces out. So let me go ahead and show you here. This is what I'm saying. So it's usually not in great shape, usually not very complete. Like the cards are definitely really well used. But, the money, right? The cash. And this, to me, there's some Monopoly cash that's not really all that interesting. But this has got, like, Captain Rex on it, right? And then there's another clone on this one, right? So, that's cool. To me, that's pretty neat. I like those kind of Monopoly games. They weren't phoning in the design. These bills are just so beat up. But here's a Peter figurine. There's a Rex. So for $4 to get 8 pewter Clone Wars figurines and some funny money to play with, that's a huge win. And the box is in good shape too. So again, what I would likely do is just scavenge for parts and complete one, and then have fun with the other. You know what I'm saying? So that's all from thrifting. I guess I've got some eBay stuff, but I don't think you're really as interested in that. I kind of showed you like the bulk of what the thrifting spirit was, picking up largely in store. And thank you, Roberto, for stopping by and appreciate the support. Thank you for being a member, C3PO. Pro tip: use a blow dryer, heats up the glue, and comes right off. Yeah, that's a good tip. That's a great tip. I probably should. I get too impatient with this. I might lightly use like masking tape or. I haven't shown this yet. My tape dispenser here. I can use some cellophane tape. It's a Star Wars stapler, people. Look at that. It's a Star. This is not a stapler. The stapler I already showed you. Here in my tool drawer. Had to do some rejiggering, but pretty much, if you can think of it, it's got Star Wars on it. So someone asked where my obsession with Star Wars came from. I don't know. I guess childhood. I've had a fandom certainly all my life, and when I reached a certain point where I needed something to throw myself into, I realized, life is too short. I need to have fun, and I need to find something that doesn't piss me off. Star Wars is the one thing that doesn't piss me off. That's really what it boils. That's what I tell everybody. It's true. It's the one thing that doesn't. So that's why. If you want to know why, because everybody needs something that doesn't do that to them. This is my one thing. I've covered everything I wanted to cover today. I may be back tomorrow, with depending on how everything kind of clears up, and also depending on how other things turn out. Where did it go? I was going to show you. Oh, I should wait. Okay, I tweeted a tip. I tweeted my own pro tip. I'm going to wait right now. You can look at my Twitter account to see it, but I guess I'll save it for the pending array of stuff. If you have any other thrifting tips, feel free to share, of course, in the comments. I will heart them. And if you want to join live.pirillo.com, you're more than welcome. It's the Discord chat server. I don't know if there are other thrifters in there. I wish there were more thrifters in my community. I don't really have much of a community anymore because I'm different from a lot of people who know me. My communities are more the Star Wars collecting communities. But either way, you're welcome to join. Thank you again for the support for those who are supporting. I was able to upload... Oh, wait, was I? No, I wasn't able to upload to the YouTube members the exclusive podcast that went out in the newsletter. You can subscribe to the newsletter with the link in the video description. It's kind of like a daily recap of the tweets or the things that I've shared that you might have missed or the things that I find interesting. Not all related to Star Wars. Things that are on my mind, not related to Star Wars or thrifting. But thank you. Once again, I enjoy talking about this stuff. It's fun. I have a passion for it. I have a feeling it's building into something else. I don't know what that something else is. Something with thrifting and selling and vintage and community and Star Wars. That's what Galaxar turned into. But I don't know. Maybe at some point in the future it'll be good. Like the idea will gel. That will be good. So I'm not into Power Rangers things. Diana watched it, but she's not really much of a collector. Yes, thank you for reminding everybody. If you want to like the video, fine. If you liked it. If you didn't, no big deal. I'm doing it because right now it's what I want to do. It's what I want to share. It's what I'm having fun with. I wanted to share my time with you. I think at some point this week I may be going through and doing kind of just a regular old hangout with opening some of my loose Star Wars figures that I got at the garage sale a few weeks ago. I've got a huge garbage bag sitting on my floor, and I thought, it'd be kind of fun to kind of do an AMA. I'm unbagging a whole bunch of loose Star Wars figures, AMA. So stay tuned for an AMA, and that will be an Ask Me Anything. So you can ask me all your burning questions, including the ones that I refuse to answer, usually. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.